In a city that breathed concrete and steel, Adam was an architect who built the future. His designs were glass skyscrapers that pierced the clouds, winning awards and filling magazines, but they were cold, silent, soulless, just like his life. He lived in a luxury apartment overlooking the city he had built, yet he felt an immense emptiness, an echo of a success that no longer had any taste. He had lost his inspiration, and his straight lines had become a prison for his creativity. One day, he was tasked with the most important project of his career, designing a massive public park in the city's heart. But the white paper in front of him remained white. For the first time, he had nothing to say. Escaping the pressure of his office, he began to walk aimlessly through the city streets until his feet led him to a forgotten alley in an old, rusty door leading to the roof of an abandoned building. He opened it and found himself in another world, a secret garden, neglected but breathing with life. And in its center was an old, blind man, Yusuf, gently stroking the leaves of a mint plant with his fingers and smiling. Adam started visiting the garden every day, sitting in silence and watching. He saw Yusuf talking to the plants, touching the soil to know what it needed, and following the scent of flowers to find his way. One day, Adam asked, "How can you care for all this when you cannot see?" Yusuf smiled and said, "Because I don't rely only on my eyes. I use all my senses. This plant tells me it's thirsty by the feel of its leaves, and this flower guides me to its location with its fragrance. You look, but you don't truly see." Those words were a shock to Adam. Yusuf began to teach him how to see his way. "Close your eyes, Adam. What do you feel?" Adam felt the breeze, heard the rustling of leaves, and smelled the damp earth. For the first time, he wasn't thinking about dimensions and measurements, he was feeling the space. Yusuf would ask him to describe a tree, not its shape, but the sound of its leaves, the texture of its bark, and how it felt to stand in its shade. Slowly, something began to change inside Adam. His hands returned to sketching, but this time the lines weren't straight, they were curved, like tree branches, flowing like a stream. He designed pathways that followed the sound of water and benches placed where the breeze was gentlest. He designed a park that wasn't just to be seen, but to be felt, heard, and smelled. When he presented his design, it was completely different. It was alive. It wasn't just a green space, it was a sensory experience. The project was a resounding success, and the park became the city's vibrant, beating heart. But Adam's true prize wasn't the applause, but a moment when he sat next to Yusuf in the completed park, closed his eyes, and smiled. He had finally learned that true architecture isn't about building walls, but about creating spaces that life can fill, and that true sight is not what your eyes see, but what your heart feels.
And here our tale ends. Don't forget to subscribe to Tales Treasure for more enchanting stories.